Well, another day, another evening, and another chance to witness an amazing matches. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Feather Talk Showdown. On the stage is set up as a team Retro Esports. Take on head-to-head fight up against Evil Esports on the red side, and definitely Retro Esports will be on the blue side. And also joining alongside with me, the brains of the game. This is Silverhawk.
And Sasuke, that was a good intro. And while you just fix your net and your mic, I'll just reintroduce our lovely teams. On to the red side, we have Team Evil Esports, and on to the blue side, we have Retro Esports. With that, it's going to be an amazing match. And just diving straight into the draft, we can see a 4 band towards the Retro Esports. Since the meta has been changed, so are the heroes. Well, actually, there are some people, I mean, some heroes, they're actually buffed, some heroes, they're actually nerfed. So let's see how the draft is actually really going to go.
Hmm? That was quite some good assumptions, but again, 4 years would be the one banning, would be the main priority in the ban list for the EXP laner because, Terizla Ultimate was a bit, I mean, there was some increase in the cooldown prediction for Terizla's Ultimate along with some shenanigans the developers did to his second skills, like in most of the part it was the damage and the early damage he does towards the hero towards the minions was just reduced. So yeah, with that, Terizla on nerf, definitely Phobias would be the one lurking around in the exp lane for the meta. So I'm not quite amazed seeing Phobias in the ban list along with that Ruby though.
Yeah, that is true. And if you just look at the patch notes, that the some fighters actually have, I mean, they don't have mana anymore. So actually, those picks would actually come in handy in the team fights, like a Terizula or like a Claude, because Claude actually needed a lot of mana. And then whenever he has to use a Blazing Duet, surprisingly, he didn't have enough mana and has to recall to get more mana. But since he don't doesn't have the mana anymore, he could actually work in this current meta.
Hmm. Well, you might be technically right again, but there are pretty too much heroes like for the last band from the side of Team Evil Esports, as we can see, like there is the Zaz, the Hylos, the Hayabusa, the Chip, and I'm still missing one. Yeah, the Roger. How can I forget that, man?
Yep, that is true, man. Since the Roger is open, I'm actually having high hopes. Will the Evil Esports actually pick Roger because they have given most of the priority to that single hero, the Roger. But since Haya is open as well, I'm actually thinking the Retro Esports might go for a Hayabusa or perhaps a Edith for themselves because Edith is actually really good on a roamer or perhaps on actually an EXP lane. But there's still a lot of options open right now. So let's see which hero is actually going to go as a priority for themselves. And Cruz just picked onto that Xbox.
Hmm? Well, without any hesitation, we can see like respect just lurking around Edith or like technically speaking, like they are not so sure because there are a lot of options available for them at this point. So, they could probably go a Roger with a Zask or maybe Hayabusa with a Roger, but it is totally depend on the team, like what heroes and what draft they need to place on.
Yep, they could actually go with like a full team fight composition kind of draft with themselves. And yep, I do think so. The Evil Esports are actually sticking to their comfort draft because you can see there's Aurora picked by Ye and Respect has just locked onto that edit. So just imagine how much CC this only two can give. Like the Earth Shatter, the Onward, and the Frosty Breeze, and the Frigid Glacier. It's like almost like the 4 CC almost you have got for yourself. And just imagine if they're going for more CCs. And meanwhile, on to the Retro Esports, we can see they're trying to get an Angela for themselves, but I would actually prefer if they had a Roger or a Ling or a Hayabusa. That Angela would work really well with the hard guard used on the Hyper.
Well, I'm not sure because they have the Xbox in the hyper section, and again, you have that Fraga armor for the Xbox, and imagine having a hard guard. Here, Angela just try. I mean, not driving, but just helping you or ultimating you. I mean, that would be the front liner melting down the enemy's front liner, and that would be just a huge asset for Team Retro Esports in this game, though.
Yep, that could actually be true. And that Neon has also picked an Terizla. And Sasuke has a quick question. Does the Terizla actually have the mana on him in this current meta? Well,
Uh,
Well,
I'm
actually,
not sure because hello.
Well, actually, I'm gonna leave you to answer that question, Sasuke. Moving on, that next aspect at that Nolan, so that Vexana might be in trouble because that fracture will definitely get her, and it's next. So his hyper plays are really good, so that Nolan is actually going to work really well. And if that Xbox and the Tesla decides to go for a first turtle, I doubt that Nolan might get some trouble.
Well, technically, Nolan has the escape skill, so I'm having high hopes that Nolan would quite actually work against this Xbox who is on 3 retribution right now, and the damage he could tilt to the tanky heroes is just too humongous. And no, the sneaky plays from Nolan could quite come in handy to kill down the backliners from the Retro Esports, which will be the Vexana, and I'm assuming some sneaky marksman, a Claude or a Clint, not a Clint, but a Claude would be high priority pick for Retro Esports in this game.
Well, imagine if you're going for a Claude, that edit would actually disrupt your Blazing Duet with that onward or perhaps a Earth Shatter. So, I mean, picking Claude would actually be good, but that Claude is totally fixated towards having a Purifier on himself. Because if he gets caught into the onward or either Earth Shatter, his Blazing Duet is going to get disrupt and his damage is not going to satisfy any of his teammates. So, with that keeping in mind, I would prefer a Clint, as you just mentioned, Sasuke, because the grenade bombardment and the instant shots could actually delete that Nolan in the late game if it's fully farmed, because that's the only catch that Clint could get.
Mhm. But again, speaking of the late game, there is also the 8 hits of Primal Wrath against a Clint could quite not be useful. And talking about the Claude, he has the escape skill. So if once he managed his position and just went to the enemy backline in a perfect time, so that would quite come in handy because the Blazing Duet with a Trinity build will definitely jump down the tanky heroes along with the squishy heroes, man.
Yep, that is true. And with that, we can also see a Carmilla ban from the side of Retro Esports. And as the last ban from that Evil Esports is going to be a Matilda. With that, we could see that the fourth pick has been a Moscow. So, what could actually counter a Moscow right now? Because the marksmen from the Retro Esports haven't picked yet. So, they could actually go for a counter against that Moscow or to just deal a lot of damage to lane against that Moscow. Because you know what? Even if he just doesn't join the team fight at all, he could just throw the spear of destruction in the team fight and eventually come in the team fight really faster.
Mhm. Speaking of who counters the Moscow in the gold lane, it would be quite the Clint if you're just talking about the marksman section. Maybe a Beatrix would quite come in handy for the early game, and definitely if you know how to shoot down that sniper shot, I mean that would be just too lethal against Moscow because imagine one basic shot and the ultimate connecting down would do deal too much damage, and the Moscow would definitely be out of the team fight. I mean, joining down the Wrath.
Yep, that is true. But what you just said is just a piece of expectation, Sasuke. But then when we get hit by reality, it's a totally different thing. And we could just see Yin has been picked on a gold side. And my God, like, is he going to actually lane against a Moscow? Because I do have high hopes that the Grok or either the Edith is going to be on a roamer side and will probably stick with that Moscow. Because in the early game, that instant blast, probably the instant blast combo would deal a lot of damage to that Moscow.
Mhm. But again, this time we are seeing a yin on the gold lane would be leaning against Moscow. So imagine that kidnapping thing, which would be, too devastating for the Moscow again. But it all depends on how well Eyes on Ray plays on that hero.
Yep, that is true. And it's going to be UG Itadori's skin, which is the best skin I like about the hero, man, Sasuke. I mean, like, do you like the Eren skin, Sasuke, or the Itadori UG?
Mm, I would definitely pick the JJK1 skin, man.
Yep, that is true. And with that, it's going to be the round number two, day three, match number one. We are in the line of dawn. Let's see how this is going to go. We have Evil Esports on the red side, and the blue side, we have Retro Esports. So both the junglers, they'll probably go for an opposite rotation. Probably not, because the Nolan is actually going for his blue buff, then he might end up going onto the gold side. Same with the Xbox as well. And we can see that Rook and Respect is totally fixated towards the cutting the lane, but they're actually eventually sharing the EXP of that minion. They are still left to get that one minion. Will they actually go for a level 2? But no, they are just getting the half of the level 1, but then none of them actually just scored a level 2 for themselves.
That was quite a good micro plays, but again, a little bit of hesitation coming down from Rook, along with respect, making sure none of them reached level 2 mark. I mean, imagine two of the heroes just hitting down the level 2 mark. It would be just too good for both of them to engage and possibly do some shenanigans in the enemy jungle. But again, things didn't went as they should be, and again, no, the mistakes. They are minor, but it could definitely come in handy in the late game section.
Yep, that could be true. Like, you know what? Nix is actually already level 4, so oh man, he actually escaped. That Gufra was almost going to spot his location, but that's actually not going to happen. We could see that Moscow is also in the bush. That Iron Servant will actually hit him. He still has the Purify on him. That instant blast will probably hit that Moscow, but will not do enough damage to take. So, Last Insanity probably use on that Moscow and will take the first blood with that Nix, just using the fracture and secures the kill over that Yin. Xbox looking in some trouble. He doesn't have the Firag armor of him. Aurora joins the fight as well. It's going to be the double kill for that Nix. Will he actually get the level? I would say the triple kill for himself because Kufra is almost really low. The KZ inside the bush, but they failed to take the triple kill for himself.
Oh, respect. Just missing down the onwards over to that Vexana. I mean, imagine if it connects down with the tower shattered, it would be a spicy kill. Over to the Vexana in the middle lane, though. But looking at time score, the first turtle of the game is already spawned up, and this time it will be the Evil Esports just zoning or taking the spots in the bush.
Yeah, that could be true. We could also see a turtle fight coming in that Vixana has already know the locations of almost like the 2 to 3 heroes. The Grok is not letting them escape. He still has used the wall. He doesn't have the wild charge on him. On the mid side, we could see that Kufra is trying to get the level 4 on himself because that Vixana is already level 4, thus sharing the. But oh my god, onto the top side, that Yin just took a kill over that Moscow. So there's no chance probably with the wild charge used up on the Vexana taking the kill. Who will get this turtle because the penalty zone has just hit absolutely no one. The Frigid Glacier used. Will that Neon actually take the kill over that Aurora? And yep, he definitely secures the kill. And the Primal Wrath used up as well, trying to poke down that Cruz. He doesn't have the Pirag armor on him, but the Droog is trying to get the kill on him as well. But KZ, he still chases them down with the bouncing ball.
Just to prolong the fight again. It was the Vexana in the midst of fight taking and his team. I mean, the battle of retribution, like they were just too fixated. Like, who should hit the retribution first, man? And it was the
Yeah, that could actually be true. And with that, man, like even in the first 3.30 minutes of this game, we could see that Evil Sports is trying to get it way too aggressive. So Grog gets a lot of engages with the wild charge, and he's ready with the wild charge to just secure a kill onto him onto the top side. That Moscow will probably looking in some trouble. With that, it's the domain expansion used of that Sukuna. Will he actually get the kill over to that Moscow? He's extremely low. With that, look at that Abyss. My god, he's actually trying to escape. He escapes at a really low HP. There's absolutely no one to just chase him down. Even after using the domain expansion wasn't enough to take the kill over to that Moscow. Along with that, Ye just comes to save his life. Man, look at those HP.
literally. It seems like luck is definitely on side. How did he definitely got saved from the domain expansion coming in from Sukuna? So I mean, that is just outplay is coming in. I mean, even he
Oh man, that's a lot aggressive play coming in from the Evil Sports. We could see the bouncing ball used up onto that Nolan will not do enough CC to take the kill onto them. That Primal Wrath has been forced to use up from that respect over to that Terizla. But meanwhile, onto the top side, that Yin is still trying to get the kill over that Moscow, but will not just go for an engage. He's trying to get the crap for himself, but that turtle is going to spawn into the next 2 seconds. Will actually go for a proper engage because that Vexana and the Kufra is way too aggressive. We could see that Neon with a wild charge used up from that Grok will try to get the kill with the Frigid Glacier used along as well. With the penalty zone is forced to use up, will not do enough damage. Neither the CZ, but the ultimate has been forced to use as well. So they have the 4v5 situation at this point because that Yin is also onto the top side. It's only going to be 3v5. I'm sorry, the 3v4. But because that Moscow is also trying to join the team fight for himself with the Spear of Destruction hit perfectly onto that Yin. Will he actually take the kill over to him because he has the might and now onto himself? But oh my god, the Sukuna has been converted from that Itadori. Will he actually get that kill over that Moscow? But that Moscow with the amazing outplays just get the kill over to that Yin. Will he actually just forced to back off by that Cooper as well?
Please, and the skills utilization coming in from Moscow was just on par, man. I mean, he definitely secured a kill, but look at that jump coming in from Kufran. That might be some beautiful
Oh,
engage, but the disruptions coming in from Edit, man.
that's a lot of engages happening over that drop. How much setup is he actually going to go with? Because the wild charge is perfectly connected over to that Vexana. There's only like three people waiting to get the kill, to poke them out, so that he could have used the last insanity to take the kill over to that Moscow. But that Yin is also there, and the Grog defends his marksman really well. He cares about him.
Hmm? In the late game, it is all dependent on the marksman to deal and dish out the damage. So definitely, he needs to protect his late game insurance. Rook right here doing everything he could possibly save and provide the vision he could for his marksman. But look at that. That push setup is already been set up in the mid lane. But look at that jump and ultimate coming in from Kufra.
And that Precipitation combination by that Aurora will probably get the kill. I mean, sorry, Precipitation, not the Toasty Breeze used up from that Aurora. But onto the mid side, the Vexana looking in some trouble with that. Nolan has taken the kill, but the Eternal Guard will not do enough front line to take or just deal a lot of damage or to sustain. But that Tesla definitely stole the turret onto the bot side. He's trying to join the team fight as well because that Nolan is also trying to just steal the red buff off to that Xbox. But I don't think so. He will actually do that because the Frosty Breeze used up onto the Tesla will not hit him. But the tier 1 is looking in some trouble with the Fracture used up for absolutely nowhere. With the Frigid used up onto the Tesla but will not do enough damage, neither the CC.
In terms of tower, like both the teams are in equal trade, but again, the third turtle is up, and this time, Evil Esports looking strong, and they are absolutely going to secure that turtle. Penalty zone two members, but again, Elasting
Oh!
inside securing that kill over to that Aurora. But look at that, Moscow is looking strong as he is going around between the team members, man.
Well, the speed of destruction perfectly connected over to the Yin. He's trying to get a kill with his Abyss Walker, but will not do enough damage to do so. That Yin escapes the instant blast, but Grog, that Rook, is definitely in some trouble. He has really low HP with the last insanity used up from that Xbox. Will he actually get the kill over to that Nolan? I mean, very Nolan takes. He just gives him the payback. I thought that Nolan is actually going to die in the last team fight, but the penalty zone perfectly connects over to the one person. Will that Sukuna actually get the kill over to that Moscow? But I don't think so. They have the high hopes because that Moscow definitely took the kill over to that Yin, and that Primal Ra just peels his skin off, man. That Kufra is forced to back off.
I'm quite amazed. Oh, Nick's definitely.
My god, that Nolan onto that fracture, how perfectly he plays. He just uses the dashes. You know what? Whenever you use the fracture, you just dash backward. So he used the fracture backward to dash forward, man. That's some high IQ plays from that Nix. He has spotted that Nolan, so he's forced to back off again.
Like the way like how Moscow definitely countered the Yen, because probably I suppose like it was being picked up to jump down and mark down that
Oh!
marksman board. But again, oh, fracture used again, and that is some beautiful kills again over to that Xbox. Look at that spear of destruction perfectly connecting and locking down towards the Tesla. He might be in some trouble penalty. He will be going down as and securing that kill. But look at that outplays coming in from Retro Esports. They are looking strong as they want to take down the top tier 2 tower.
That Yin is totally having those split pushes done with among himself. That Casey is also there to support him, but they also just the Evil Sports is also just trying to compensate perfectly because whenever they go for a split push, they get a good team fight. Along with that, they got a lot for themselves. Onto the mid side, we can see Edith is also there to give him a lot of backup with the Frosty Breeze. Perfectly used up with the flicker plays from that Aurora. Definitely secures the kill over to that Yin, and that fracture from that Nolan is just too perfect to watch. He definitely secures every single kill. He never forgave anyone.
Oh, that was some insane jump with the flicker use, and I literally thought like he would be getting down that Moscow, but again, he knows like what he is up to, and he'll be just jumping back. I mean, imagine if it just hit down and connected to the Moscow, and using Kufra's ultimate, it would be just cherry on top. But again, the fracture connecting and killing out the Praga armor out of that Xbox, man.
his damage is way too much, man. Like he just uses a dash with a basic attack and uses a fracture, and the Firag arm has totally been popped out. Man, that's some high damage coming in from Nyx. He could just, one shot that Vixana at this point. He's trying to do so, but will not do enough damage to score a kill on himself. That Kufra is trying to just, engage with Tyrant's Revenge, but will not do any setup for his team. Onto the bot side, in Last Insanity, used up the penalty zone along with that Frigid Glacier of that Aurora will just do a lot of disruption, and his team is also there to just give him a lot of backup. That Nyx, with his buff, is ready to fight every single time.
Hmm? It was quite a 2v2 situation, but it was a marksman and a mage fighting off two fighters in the bot lane, and this time Moscow was in bit of trouble, and it was Yi helping down his precious marksman. Because he is the late game insurance, he is the one who's dealing ton amount of damage along with that Nolan. So definitely those two heroes needs to play safe at all cost.
Yeah, and that's what they're actually doing. Because you know what? That whenever the Moscow is in trouble, that Grok is forced to use the wild charge and saves the day every single time. And with that, Kufra has also got a good push for himself. He's trying to engage with onto that Aurora, but does he have enough backup to deal a lot of damage with that kills? That Root is just on fire, man. Look how deep he actually is. He is afraid of no one because he's sticking with the walls. With the wild charge used upon Vixana, will she actually escape from this tight situation? The Frigid Glacier and the Frosty Breeze combination is way too much to handle with the Spear of Destruction used up along the Spear of Misery, connected them perfectly towards that wall. With that, Yin probably has to use that might and now to get rid of at least one, so that it could be 4v4 team fight, 4v4 team fight with the penalty zone used upon absolutely two people. Will they actually escape from the tight situation? Because the Last Insanity has been used up as well. He still has the immortality on him, but there are like three people down at this point.
Man, the aggression total coming in from one inhibitor tower in the mid lane, and they are focusing on to the top lane. But look at those damage coming in from Nyx is taking down, but Larry is along with the
Oh,
being used from Aurora. But look at that damage from the Moscow along with that Nolan deleting down that eyes on Ray with no chance, man.
my god, like Puppy gets that penalty zone onto two people. Will he actually escape from that? Because that Grok with that wild charge will probably go do a setup for himself with the Tyrant Riven used up on that Nyx. He will not escape with the bouncing ball used up as well, but that Nolan uses the fracture onto himself. That immortality is being used up from that cruise. He's just forced to use out that Last Insanity that all he has is the Frigid Glacier used up on that Terisla as well with the Aurora has been down. But this base and this victory goes towards Evil Esports.
The
Victory!
aggressions from this team. I mean, at some point, Team Retro Esports, they were the one taking the control of the map along with the towers, but something somewhere in the team fight went wrong. I do think like it was a 3v4 situation where Evil Esports took the lead, and in terms of gold, in terms of kill, and in terms of the turtles, and that's where it went wrong for the retro esports. And I mean, definitely, I did saw that doing like was just clearing down the waves, trying to make sure the exp things, but in the team fights, his position was not on point. I mean, in most of the
Yep.
team fights, it was not visible.
Yeah, that could be true. And actually, I'm more impressed about that Moscow because whenever the Amp turn, my turn now has been used from that Yin, he is able to escape every single time with the Abyss Walker used on himself. And he just, saves his skill whenever the instant blast comes from that Yin, along with that basic attack damage from the S1. He's probably forced to use that S1, the Abyss Walker from that Moscow, and he gets away every single time, regardless of having the Petrify on that Yin. So that's really impressive, man.
Look at the talking about the stats. Look at the damage coming in from that Moscow man. 31% damage, total destruction towards the enemy team, and along with the tower damage, 66%, man.
Oh my god, just look at it, man. Like the turret damage is actually like the 66%. He was actually forced, you know what happened actually? He was just forced to, push the turret so that he could get the farm, use the sphere of destruction to join every single team fight as much as he could, and just dealt like the 31% damage, just as you mentioned, Sasuke. And the Rook onto that Grok was giving a lot of setups along with that Aurora. That Aurora and the Grok's combination and the coordination was too brutal, man. Like the yin and that Vexana, they were whenever they actually went for an overextension, it was actually not even overextension, but they actually get caught them off guard. That's what I could actually say.
Hmm? Seems like this Xbox didn't work well for Team Retro Esports in terms of jungle, but this is it, ladies and gentlemen, for the game number one. We'll be right back with a short break for another exciting game.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some honestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable. Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
Well, technically it was not buff, neither nerf or nor balanced, but again, it could be probably a respect ban. We never know. But again, oh, it is quite and like something which I don't expect to be in the banning hero.
I mean, yeah, me too, honestly. I thought that he got adjusted since there was a recent ban, but maybe not. Oh, there's another ban, and that will be the sun coming out as well. I don't know if 1D is taking this draft seriously. This doesn't really look like a serious draft, but it could be. You never know. They might be banning respectfully, versus they're the players, not us. So we leave the bans to them. Anyway, it's the Zujin ban and the Phobies ban. I don't really agree with the Zujin ban, honestly, because like she was quite a menace last patch, but this patch she has been adjusted a bit. Lot of nerfs. That mana bar really goes down really fast. So I don't really think that the Zujin should have been banned by the side of
I mean,
the Lord's Order. But anyway,
despite talking about the mana bar, she is a nuisance in the team fight because the amount of CC she provides with the wishing lantern hanging over your head is just too much. And definitely, if you can't use it for the mid section, I do believe like you could technically possibly use it in the rumor section. And you know, I still believe like Zushin in the panning phase is a good to go hero though. But again, we can see a lot of heroes being open as of now because there is a Zaz, there is the Roger along with the Ling and Hayabusa.
honestly, a lot of heroes have been tuned this patch, and I still think that all those three heroes that you mentioned are really still strong. But the Zast has fallen off a bit, and but though it still is strong, so it might still be picked up. But you never know. Honestly, this patch has been really quite influential in this game. You're seeing stuff like Alice Golden appear in the MPL regions, in Indonesia and Philippines. So you never know what the draft could be right now. It's really hard to predict. But anyway, the first pick will be going to the side of 1D Esports. Really, honestly, really, really, really curious about their first pick. They banned really like very weird heroes. Not really sure what they're trying to do here, but it could be a very unorthodox strat. Never know, Kuro.
Hmm? Oh, how did we miss that, Ruby? I mean, technically it was still open and 1D will be just grabbing it right away. But again, there is Roger, there is Ealing, along with the Hylos, Chip, and other sneaky and disgusting, not disgusting, but chaos type heroes. But we are saying like Alice already being picked out from the Lord's Order, along with the Roger, probably.
Well, honestly, I did say that the Alice was quite a likely pick since it has been seen in MPL regions. But yeah, again, we're seeing the Roger being hovered over. Now it's the Lapu and then the Freya. So not really sure what they're trying, but I guess they're just trying to confuse and throw off 1D Esports draft, maybe just by show, or they're just trying to flex skins, you never know. But anyway, it seems that they're going for the Roger and they've locked it right in. It seems to be a Roger jungle for now. But again, Roger's a very good flex pick. Even right now, he still can be picked into that gold lane. But since they've picked Alice, I feel it's more like a jungle Roger. They are
Yeah,
hiding the rest of their picks.
That could be probably right about it, but again, we never know because both of those heroes could probably works in the hyper section along with the gold section, and Alice probably could work again in the XP section, though she would have some itemization problem because the gold she gets in the XP lane is not that much, and she needs to rely on like a late game insurance for that, and I don't think so like that would be quite good. But look at that. 1D just locking down that Aurora along with the Carmilla. So no, in team fights, we can definitely see that ultimate being popped out from Carmilla would quite come in handy for themselves.
For sure. And honestly, this ban on the link is quite smart right now. But since they have a god would be very weak versus a link opponent. But since the side of 1D has not as yet picked up their hyper carry not yet picked up their jungler, it would be really good for them to ban the Link. The Finch boys would really allow him to dive into that backline and decimate this god. And that's not what they want to happen at all. So that's banned. But the Akai is banned as well. I'm not really sure. Again, the bans from the side of 1D, I really can't tell what they're doing. But it seems that they've banned out the Akai. The only one I understand is the Vexana, honestly. Like, seriously speaking.
Oh, well, that could be true, but again, I'm not sure. Like, if you're talking about the Lord's Order, if they want to protect the backliners, then the next band should be a Lancelot or maybe the Nolan. But oh, wait a minute, this time it will be the Ying. So, like, Ian, sorry. Oh, man, I'm just confused between these names, man.
I guess you've played too much of another game. Anyway, like they ban out the yen, and now it's a final ban for the side of 1D esports. And not really sure what they'll ban here because it's still been so unpredictable. Even the yen was so unpredictable. I guess they're rubbing off a bit onto the opposition as well. The Lord's Order as well, getting a bit influenced by this kind of weird ban coming out from 1D esports. But anyway, it's the last ban, 20 seconds left even till
I will
now.
choose my own
So
path.
Yeah, I'm talking about the bans, a sensible ban finally coming in from the side of 1D Sports, and it will be the Arlot. Definitely, in the recent patch, Arlot was quite buffed, and the amount of damage, I mean, the passive skills, like the second skills where you can just, dance around between the enemies and you won't be, your second skill won't be in the cooldown process. So, yeah, that would be quite coming in handy, but again, the edict was open and with that, I don't think like the Lord's Order would be looking pretty strong with that Edith in their hands in the EXP lane.
yep, for sure. I think this might be a roam edit though, since there's still the option to pick a different XP lane than Edith, if you get what I mean. But anyway, it seems that Julian, they want to probably go for an assassin for the side of PTT or rather 1D esports. But I mean, it would definitely be good to go for something that can give some AOE also, like the Claude that they seem to be hovering over. Carmel and Claude does deal a lot of damage. It's a very good synergy. And they also have the Ruby and the Aurora, so there's a lot of crowd control already coming in. So it would be better that they get, two
Even
really high
Brilliant
damage picks at this
attempts
point,
failed to
which the
tame
Bane
me.
really, it fulfills it for this comp really well. Just a
You're
good
looking
link
at
up
the
from the
future
Carmela followed by
champion.
the Bane's ultimate will
For
decimate
honor!
the entirety of the Lord's Order. But the last pick coming out from the Lord's Order kind of throws a bit of a wrench in the side of 1D Esports plan. Since it's quite obvious they're going for these very very compact team fights, and Tigreal is a really good answer to that. So both sides have a really good draft again, but I feel that this kind of goes to 1D. If there's a lot more team fights, they can go even to the side of the Lord's Order if they manage to disrupt the formations coming out from 1D enough. But anyway, Kuro, who do you think is gonna be your choice of the day? Who's gonna be your guess for winning this match?
Well, I don't think like 1D Sports they have a way to go draft because talking about the backline disruptions, they got the Yuzhong to do that thing, and along with that, they got the Ruby along with the Carmilla to do the frontline damage. And there's one thing which is like I'm not sure about. Like, will being damage be sufficient enough to melt down that Alice?
Well, that is definitely one of the concerns that is coming out for the side of 1D esports. They don't have a lot of damage to melt down that Alice, except that the Bane still does a lot of damage to get that Alice down. That's why I feel that they've made this pickup right here onto the Bane. They don't want pick a traditional versus Alice, since she does get that pass spike a lot easier. So they want to be able to bully her with a Ruby Golden. And as you can see on the gold side, we've already entered the land of dawn. No point saying that we're entering the land of dawn. But anyway, like the Ruby is managing to zone out the Alice decently well, from the minion wave and keep it, sided towards her. So right now, there's a bit of, you know, a gang party on the bot side. They're just waiting for the Alice to overextend enough so that the Ruby can, get some CC in. But meanwhile, we can see that Roger is also coming towards the bot side, and there he might be in a bit of trouble if they catch him out. Not really though, because he decides to back away from the lethal one Rakuro.
Hmm? Well, that is some wise decisions coming in from Roger because he knows like he 1v3 situation he will be going down and definitely don't want to do so. But again, look at that. Continue CC coming in from Ruby, making sure he do and push out Roger out of the team fight, making him forced to recall so that they could probably play some shenanigans into the bot lane. But look at that. God along with the Tigreal pushing and clearing down the minion waves and definitely moving to the top lane. Like I'm not sure. Like they should probably help down the gold laner, making sure that Alice get her hands on some certain items which she need in the team fight.
I think that they're just trying to clear out the vision on top side since the turtle fight is about to start, the turtle contest is about to start. And I think they feel that they have a better chance contesting this turtle. And I feel the same way as well. Since they have a Carmilla ultimate up soon, since you can see that Carmilla is clearing the mid lane for that. I think she's close to hitting, really close to hitting level 4. Just a bit more XP from that roam item. And enough, Ruby has already hit level 4. Tigreal manages to get a spot out on everybody over there. Ruby trying her best to, be that zone pressure. Meanwhile, Alice is going ahead and cutting that gold lane wave on the bot side. But since it's a 5v4, that is a huge fight coming out for the side of 1T Sport. They are diving right into the backline. Roger going really low, taken down by Yuzhong, who is in a bit of trouble mid lane. Not really going to survive if he doesn't manage to get that ult out, but that's really clutch. However, Bane is coming from the backside. She has no chance of surviving, and that will be lights out for the side of the Lords Order. It's not really looking good for them. They're already being invaded right all over again. Tigreal not really a good option to get that jungle creep out. You won't be able to, get that. Oh my god, the Mystic Crush coming out from the god is crazy. Aurora's taken pretty low. Alice going in with that Blood Ode, and she actually managed to predict the Aurora's pathing literally perfectly, man. That's the god taking out the Aurora. Huge fight coming out, and Alice is still in the midst of all of this. That's actually crazy. And Zero as well going down on that Carmilla. This was a huge win for the side of the Lord Order. It was looking pretty grim, but now they are like they're able to equalize a lot better for us.
In the first team fight, it was definitely Team Blue taking a huge advantage, 4-0 trade along with the turtle. But they did overextended in the enemy blue section, which definitely cost them two of the heroes and losing some gold lead because we can see like they were 0.2.5 to 3k gold lead, but as of now they are already 1k gold lead ahead. So I mean those were some teeny tiny mistakes, but again if they do so like Team Red, they will definitely have some chances to turn up the tides and definitely take down the game for themselves.
Yep, for sure. But still, it is still quite a decently sized advantage for PTT, or rather 1D esports, because they still have the tempo of the game in their hands. And but the scaling might be better for. Oh wait, huge catch coming out. Miguel in the midst of all of it goes down right away. God, however, managing to flicker out. He might go for the mythic cut right here, but Carmela ultimate stops him from retreating, and he will go down as well. Huge T fight coming out for the side of 1D Esports, and that will probably be a free turtle. Alice, just trying to look at what she can do for her team right there. I don't really think she chose the right time to engage over there realistically, but she is able to get out pretty easily, so it shouldn't really be a problem unless this Bane. Nah, she does get out pretty easily.
Mhm.
Anyway,
The
Kuro.
amount of damage Bane is dealing is just too humongous, and I do pity Alice. Like she won't be able to sustain. But look at that, she did a pretty good job to defend the tower. But the damage from the Aurora along with the Pain would be more than enough to melt him down. Once again, a Black Dragon form being used again in the blue section, and that is the Mystic Gust from that god, making sure the dragon will be punished down for what he did. But look at that, the backup from the Bundy is right on time, and they will be just taking down. I don't think it was Suzuhara, the idiot, from side of Team Lord.
Well, for sure. But I feel that, it's still quite a doable game for the side of the Lord's Order. TLO is not in such a bad position since they still have the God, they still have the Alice. If they scale up, they will still manage to do a good job at managing these team fights, because right now they're getting picked off left, right, center. But as soon as they scale up a bit, it will be more it'll be less of a lofty affair for them. But for now, it's going to be a bit hard, but they still have a chance at coming back. And on the top side, Edith, spotting out a huge gank on him. Roger being picked off by the huge keeper taker going for that implosion, huge ultimate. Roger will get taken down as well as Edith by the Bane, and that's a triple kill for the Bane. He gets the right down over there. The God is the last person left. He's the only survivor, and he might have to back down too. But at this point, Ruby going for a flicker. However, it won't really connect onto the God over there. He's really low on that mana, so he should back off right away. Anyway, Kuro, what do you feel about this game as of now?
That pretty last team fight was pretty good because the implosion connecting down three members was just too much. But again, look at that bait, forcing down and taking the enemy blue buff. And talking about the previous team fight, like the implosion was quite good, taking down three members of Lord Order. But you know, it was all about the ultimate coming in from that Camilla. The damage from that bait was just too much to melt down the three members. But again, the Black Dragon form being popped up, and again it will be just connecting down as the damage from that Kaguya would be more than enough to take down double kills. Two members already falling down at 3v5 situation, and the minions are already swarming down to the near enemy tower. Tier 2 definitely being decimated at this point.
Well, honestly, this is quite a lopsided game at this point. A lot of the chances that the Lord's Order had to kind of make a comeback or make, the goal difference go down a bit have already passed. And right now, they are suffering from a huge deficit. Honestly, it's a phenomenal deficit. Almost 40% of the goal, is like on the side of PTT, on the side of 1D Esports, and it's not looking good for TLO at all. All they have is the Alice, managing to put that split lane pressure. And as I said in the draft itself, it's very sided towards PTT, the team fight. But of course, since that Alice is there for the side of TLO, they're able to get these small, split pushes, these cross map plays off much easier, since the side of 1D Esports is more team fight based. But since they have a lot of map control right now, it is still quite huge task for the side of PTT. But anyways, Alice looking in a very compromised position. Better if I land from the Yuzhong, and that will be a lot of damage being put right onto the Alice. But the mist cut coming in right there, dealing a lot of damage. Double kill for the Bane, nevertheless. Tigri as well as having thought of the was not really do much in that team fight, Kuro.
You know, the thing is like where Team Red are getting power is like they are taking too much of 4v5 team fights because if Roger is there in the team fight, it is Alice doing the split push job, and if Alice in the team fight, like it is someone from the members of the Lord Order doing the split push. I mean, they should technically do a 5v5 proper team fight because the setups coming in from Tigril are just too on point, and they should probably wait for the Camilla to like use down her ultimate and to spread out a bit because all the team fights we have been like
You, Honestly, in this situation, I kind of want to point out to the items a bit. Since, the Alice is kind of, she went for the Sky Piercer before the Winter Crown. Though I feel she should have gone for the Winter Crown before in this game, since there is quite a lot of engagement from the side of 1D Esports, and she can have a lot more survivability with that Winter Crown. So it's a bit of a weird choice of item. Snowball. So why really go for Sky Piercer? I don't get it. But anyway, the builds are coming up quite well for the side of PTT 1D Esports, so they are able to snowball this game in pretty well. It can be a really quick end from here on out since they have all their ultimates. They have those flickers up. Yuzhong just used his one ultimate, so it's just four ultimates versus like pretty much all the ultimates. But they're also defending the base. They're very busy defending the base. Kamala going on with the link up, managing to zone out everybody. Alice going into the backline. He does have that winter ground. He can probably use it right now. Mr. Skull feeling a lot of damage, finally getting that shutdown on the pain. But the Aurora managing to get a huge showstopper with a skill 2. Not really enough though, because of the Otis diving straight into the backline. He won't let this Ruby go today. He knows what he's going for. He aims straight for the target. Well, Alice is managing to defend the base from all those, super minions. Meanwhile, this is a huge, huge defense that came out from the side of the Lord's Order. They're still in this match after that defense, and the goal lead has narrowed down quite a bit. And it's just really good to see that, it's not just a lopsided game or really one sided as, the past 5 minutes, honestly. Like, it was pretty brutal for the Lord's Order, Kuro.
The way they fight in team fight, that is a 1D sport, but again, engage as the implosion connecting down the dragon, but the backup from these 1D sport is pretty much Camilla's ult connecting Alice from the backup. She will be definitely in from Camilla over to that. Definitely on side, but the damage from this Bane is on point. But look at that, Alice to win 3 members of 1D Sports, and that will be another member going down, and Aurora will be the last one standing for her team.
Well, this is quite the twist. I really expected a domination when I saw that Yuzhong pop as Black Dragon for. Just a few minutes later, the tables have turned, and Yuzhong is the cause for his team's downfall. His Black Dragon form was not really up over there, so he got caught by an implosion from the Tigreal. And this is gonna be quite the plot for the side of the Lord's Order. Roger melting it down along with the Mystic Gush coming from the God, and that will be quite the advantage. Now it's the Lord's Order's turn to push up and try and end this game. I don't really think it will be possible yet since there's a lot of stars up. But if they get just the right team fight, taking down just enough members from the side of One Dimension, they can still end it right here. What do you think, Kuro?
Well, technically, it will be a good setup coming in from the Tigreal along with the backup from his team. But again, the Frosty Breeze from that Aurora is quite coming in handy to, like disrupt the engages coming in from this Tigreal. But looking at that, Lord will be just marching down from the top lane. But again, the Alice is just in the bottom lane, and I don't think so. But there is another implosion. Ruby got down, but there is a Mystic Gush connecting down and taking that kill. But look at that, Black Dragon from the Dragon has already been popped up. Lord just marching down from towards the enemy base from the top line, just dealing ton amount of damage. But Alice joins the team fight, and with that Lord, they definitely took the map under their control, taking 2 towers and dealing some amount of damage towards the top lane. But look at that, Alice with the Winter Crown along with the Vengeance. She definitely just went too deep and was punished as she was just between 4 members of 1D Esports, man.
That's quite a huge overextension by the Alice. It's thrown away a lot of the lead that the minions of LTOs were making, DLTLO were making. But right now, 1D might be biting off a bit more they can chew. Since the Tigreal does have some implosion back, it's probably not the best time to engage, and definitely not the best time to come up like that. They still do have a lot of purified house, so they're able to do this. But the Bane forced to go for the Winter Crown right there. Since the Doctor's back, we can see him take down so many people. That is a ton of kills. Aurora was also almost taken down, but instead you can see that it was actually a positive trade. There were down, not actually two for two. I forgot that the Alice was kind of taken down beforehand itself. So yeah, actually she's back. It was a 2 for 3, so it was actually advantageous for the side of 1D Sports. And right now, it's quite an obnoxious phase of the game for the side of 1D, since Alice is able to get this blue buff. Right now, they will actually have to, respect her in these team fights a lot more than they were in previous engages, Kuro.
Mhm. The best part about the final team fights between these two teams are the main core part is the ultimate coming in from Carmilla, connecting more than 3 members to the Lord's Order. Then there's the ultimate being popped out from the Bane. But look at that ultimate the Tigreal making sure he gets the Bane, and there is the Mystic Crush connecting down. But along with that, there's the Black Dragon Form. Ultimate being popped up, and the damage will be more than enough to melt down Suzuhara. He is going down, but look at that. Alice just marking down, sustaining all the damage. But meanwhile, Dragon seems to be in some trouble as he is the one marking down that cord, but the damage from that Roger will be more than enough. Look at that Alice. She's, just chasing down that Ruby, and I mean, technically, Ruby against an Alice in the late game, definitely Alice would be having an upper hand because, in spite, Ruby is known for that lifesteal queen, but talking about the Alice, she is like not different, man.
Honestly, this game was kind of saved for the side of 1D esports by that Usain Bane. Look at him, he just ran right out of the team fight. He was like, I'm not involved. I don't know who they are.
Hmm?
Not just
Definitely.
hold the inhibs and not allow the Lord Order to push any more than they already had. No, he had no part in that entire encounter. He got caught out. He was the one out of position, but he was like, "Nah, I ain't catching any of those hands. You can keep them to yourself." But anyways, right now you can see that the map is still in an advantageous position for the side of 1D Esports since they do have an inhibitor on the bot side. If they could just get a bit of that split push out, it could still be a game end as long as they use diversions well enough in this game. And I don't mean the Louis skill diversions, I mean actual, diversion tactics. But anyway, it looks like they're gonna be able to defend, but you can't ever say because Tigreal does have his implosion right back up again, Kuro.
Hmm? Yeah, but the minions are already swarming down from each order, but they were the way being dropped out, and that's the Fristy Cross along with the Mystic Curse taking down Ruby, but there is the implosion connecting three members, and the dragon is already taking down the Tiger, and there is a where and Aurora will be the last one standing in the team, and Lord is already chunking down the pace, and it will be the game for the Lord's Order as they wiped out the entire team along with the
Victory!
Well, that was definitely a really phenomenal game coming out for the side of the Lord's Order. Definitely GG's, as Alice is saying, really good game played by both sides. It was really unpredictable as well. The lot of the early pressure was coming out from the side of 1D, and they were able to snowball pretty well. But at the end, the Alice really came in clutch and made sure that her team wins the game. You can see that the Roger is the MVP, but I feel silently the Alice did a lot more to save this game and pull her team up. And just good game to both sides. And Kuro, what are your final thoughts on this game? Just to wrap this all up.
Well, my final thoughts are definitely Team 1D were definitely on like they had the early game till the mid game, and they were just zoning out, showing the early aggression like how it's done. But again, when once the Alice was farmed and she got her
This time it's gonna be me, Skate, on the casting desk alongside me. The man who's probably supporting Meow Meow Gang for some obvious reasons is gonna be there. Crucifix, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, but I also feel offended that you said that I'm supporting Meow Meow Gang. I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be supporting Infinity Warriors today just because you said I support Meow Meow Gang. I'm against that. So, hey, Scaredy, how are you doing today? This fine day, how did it go for you?
It's been going pretty sad, I'll be brutally honest, because I really was looking forward to the Coldplay concert in India. I was waiting for a long time, for years, and then when I checked the ticket pricing, all the tickets are sold out.
Oh no. Wait, I do have a friend that can actually get it from the black market if you want. But
Yeah,
that
of
is
course, of
again.
course, of course. The 3,000 rupee ticket
Who
is now
said
going
there
to
are no
cost me what
shortcuts in life?
1.25
I
lakhs. No,
literally
no,
invented
I'm
one.
absolutely fine, my man. Thank you.
Okay, fair enough. 1.5 lakhs, nobody's gonna buy that. Sure, that's okay. I totally understand you. I get you.
Really,
I get where you're
you did
coming
not
from.
you did not realize that? You didn't know that
No,
was
I
actually
mean,
the case?
no, I mean, you get it for like 30,000 or something right now. I know people who are selling it for 30,000.
Yeah, of course, of course. It's the ticket is going to cost me more than my entire travel, living, staying, food, whatever, man. Of course, I can buy some good spare of 5 sneakers for that much amount.
The
But it's
hunt
absolutely fine. You know
begins.
what?
Your team
Since we're
is
already talking
banning.
about the things that we can buy or that we cannot buy, we're going to be talking about the heroes that we can actually pick and we cannot pick. Fanny, Chip, along with the Ruby and the Phobius, all of them have been banned out. But you know what I'm interested in? I'm interested in talking about the patch notes that actually arrived. And now, of course, since it's the new season, Crucifix. In which rank are you? Back again to the Epic 3, Epic 2?
Epic 2 as of right now, but I've actually pushed it up to Legend 2 right now because I'm a jobless cunt and I have, what do you call it, Saturday, Sunday off work. So, yes, we pushed like jobless people yesterday, so I'm back in Legend 2, and I've started facing even harder enemies than I would have actually expected in Epic 2, but it's okay. I forgive myself. Greedy for ranking up?
I didn't
Yes.
cure them.
Call me guilty.
Your team is banning.
That is indeed true, but here we go
I
again.
am
It's
the priestess
Valentina,
of pride. Your
Edith, both
lightning
of
is
them being
the
banned out.
hunter
That
of
leaves room
all the
open for so
evil
many important
gods.
picks, right? Crucifix, there's a Ling open, there's a Hayabusa open. There's also so many possible heroes that you can actually pick up right now. And honestly, I just played one game right now, and yeah, that was again in Epic. I always judge how my season is going to go based on the first game that I play. And it actually went pretty well, to be honest. I was playing Sicilian into the gold lane. I don't know why, but the amount of damage that now he deals is absolutely mind blowing.
I mean, then again, you have a Sicilian getting all the gold from the gold lane. In that case, I'm telling
The
you,
Immortal One chose
gold
me
lane
to
Your
vanquish
Sicilian
the
team.
shadows that
itemization,
plague this
everything is just
world.
going to be top notch. Everything you'll get before the
Welcome to
12-minute
my
mark. I
castle,
mean, everything you
my
Indeed.
need, of
friend.
course. You'll get it before the 12-minute mark, and that's pretty much a deal setter for the Sicilian players. You should try it on gold lane. Hey, controversial
I love
opinion.
it. To be honest, I really like Sicilian into the gold lane. Again, he's got a decent bit of range. You got to spam your bad impact just a couple of times, and you'll be getting good amount of stacks as well. Don't really need to hit that recall as much. And once you make the elegant gem, that's the building item for the Clock of Destiny. You can also basically get
Gaze
that HP as
upon
soon
the
as
Your
you
edge
team
level
of the
up,
is
right? So
void.
banning.
all of the good things coming into the play as well, and that also means that you can focus on those items, stay in the lane, clear it out while also dealing so much more damage. I still remember out farming a Clint in the lane. Apart from the level 1, I think so after the level 2, it's going to be Sicilian. If not when, he will at least brick wall the lane for the other side. So I'm kind of intrigued and really want to see some teams pick it up, try some new things out, right? Because this is the time for you to try a few things out. New meta.
Yes, sir. We've seen Ruby in the gold lane. We've seen Lunax in the gold lane. Harriet, Roger. I think Sicilian would be pretty strong right now. Then again, we see another gold lane hero that was actually buffed like crazy. Imagine Claude, the hero that was so mana hungry you had to use the basic emblem, losing the only thing that was putting him down. He doesn't need mana anymore. Damn! I can't believe it. Like, Mobile Legends, good job on that. I see Claude players nowadays just like going ballistic on me right now. I saw like 3 Claudes within the time that I ranked up till Legend 2. I'm telling you, those Claudes were very, very annoying.
Absolutely. I kind of agree with you on that fact. And here's the thing,
Wait, 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 wait,
it's
wait,
very
wait, wait,
clear.
wait, wait. I'm so sorry for cutting you off, but I just saw an Argus pick. Okay, my mind is blown right now. Yes, yes, finally, it's an Argus. Oh. Okay, I've had my moment. Sorry for cutting you off. I really needed that.
That's the exact reaction that I give whenever I see a
Papa
Hanabi
and
being picked
Koopa
up.
are
I
the
just don't say
best
it out loud.
hunters
That's
in
the
the
only thing. But
world.
yeah, that's the same reaction. So I feel you, bro. I feel you right in my heart, right in my meow meow. If you know what I mean, if you know that meme reference. If Sasuke is hearing it, then he's also going to understand with the fact. But all right, all right. Right now, we're going to be moving forward for the next drafting phase as well, right? Because all the picks are there. There's a Purple and Koopa being banned out too. I'm not quite sure as to why, because he recently got nerfed.
Oh, then again, Popola Koopa is like a devastating force in the late game. Early game too, he has vision using his traps. He has everything in his kit. I'm telling you, Popola Koopa is like goaded. No matter what the situation is, you put him in jungle, bam. I remember the old meta where Popola and Koopa were
Your
tanks.
team is
Imagine
banning.
that. I don't see it anymore because of the HP nerf on Koopa, but let's just say
Your
I
team
was
is
terrified
banning.
of Koopa. If
To be
that dog
honest,
chases me, I'm running off to base.
and guess what? Who's actually good against a Purple and Koopa? It's Hanabi. Woohoo! The bouncing. There's also Bruno as well. That actually kind of really works in that same area, in that same spectrum where you use the Wave of the Worlds, and then it's just gonna bounce on Popo and Koopa, gives you 10 stacks, just a couple of basic attacks, and Popo is dead, so Koopa is automatically dead. That doggo
Fair.
follows the life of its owner. But all right, Alice has been banned out, taken out. I understand that it's a pretty good ban. Alice has been pretty solid if you really talk about it. For Ramis as well, now being taken out. I kind of am intrigued to see how this Suyu is going to work out, right? Because the Blade Surge, you also have the Soul Sever, Evil Queller. Now this is like one of the first few fighter assassins
It's
that can
my
actually
way
get a
or the
good amount of
highway.
damage reduction as well on its own passive once you're in the immortal form. And that transient immortal, the use of all those skills is going to be super important, super crucial. It's like one of those few heroes that I actually like after a long time.
Fair point. I would say Suyu is actually pretty strong in the right hands. Out of wrong hands, I mean, it has bursted down in within 10 seconds. Not even 10 seconds, let's say 2 seconds. It's just bursted
Wow.
down. I've seen a Suyu versus Aldos in experience lane. Didn't go well for Suyu. Not even early game, late game, nothing. Suyu just got dominated. It
That's
was
just because
just
you are an August one trick.
no. I was saying Aldos, not Argus,
Oh,
though.
okay. I mean, okay,
I was
that's
I was
fair
a
point then.
hyper. I was
Your
playing Ling.
Fair
team
point.
Haha.
is picking.
Fair
I
point.
was
Fair
playing
point.
Ling.
Fair point. Oh my god. How can a Suyu lose the lane against an Aldous, man? That's a skill issue. That's just a skill issue right there.
It was a total skill issue. I would say that Suyu needs practice, like every other person on planet Earth that needs practice to play Mobile Legends. This game is really hard sometimes, mentally.
Why did he just mention all the people who are all the way down from mythical honor all the way to the lower leagues of this game? Because that's what I feel after I almost was playing in glory as well. And that is, by the way, when I did not push the rank up. I kind of wanted to go to immortal, but the time constraints did not allow that. Constant work, pressure, and I really need some balance out there. So I had to skip on pushing out the rank. But seriously, man, with the amount of information that players actually need out there, I kind of feel that I need to
Your
start on my
team
new
is picking.
YouTube channel and then go ahead with the guide videos and everything. But you know what? We've been talking about ourselves for a lot in the past few minutes. Now let's focus on the entire draft that has been picked up. Again, it's Arlecchino
Sure.
on the Minotaur, Damon on the Clint, Bucci on the
Magic is
Valir,
my
Subhash
life.
on that Argus, and Aiden on that Suyu. A pretty decent draft, if you ask me. There's not a lot of crowd control there, but a good single hero control on multiple of those heroes. But overall, I think so. I kind of like the draft of Meow Meow Gang.
See, in the end, I'm not the one supporting Meow Meow Gang. It's scared yet. Ha ha. I'm kidding. I still support Infinity Warriors, by the way. Look at you. Ha ha. Very, 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 very contradictory. Is contradictory. Ha. Okay,
Me.
that
And
aside,
I never it says I fully support Infinity Warriors either. I was like, all right, I think so. I'll just have a look at the draft and then I'll think about it. And it's Meow Meow Gang actually. But okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's Grok into that EXP lane. It's been a long time since we've seen that Grok EXP, right? As the Matilda is in the room, Aurora is as well in the mid. So they're gonna have a good amount of fast wave clear. And they'll be rotating in between those lanes quickly. I think so. It's gonna go down to how fast this Nolan can go and clear out that wave and how those creeps and how fast can Suyu do the same.
yeah, yeah, of course, you're right. Anyways, we're back into the land of Dawn. We are here with Infinity Warriors on the red team versus no, the blue team versus Meow Meow Gang on the red team.
You just messed it up. It's absolutely fine. I understand that. Eventually,
Yeah.
what you mean by that is that you said you support Infinity Warrior, but you think that they're on the red side. That means you still support Meow Meow Gang. It's absolutely fine. No need to
Oh my
hide
God,
it
I've been
anymore,
caught.
Crucifix. You've been
I've been
caught. Yes,
caught.
indeed.
Mission
But you know
abort. I repeat, mission abort.
Retreat is what I am hearing from you. I'm also expecting a
Yeah.
Shinchan emote in the meantime.
Huh? I didn't quite catch that actually.
The Shinchan sticker that you normally use, the one that you've
Oh
stopped using
yeah.
since I mentioned it.
Oh yes, I've been hiding it, keeping it away so that you can't steal it anymore. We see that Matilda is giving vision on the Suyu though. What do you think? Is Matilda doing a good job? Because I will
How,
be honest, Argus is doing an amazing job. Yes! Yes! Destroy that Grok. Make sure he goes back to the base where he
whoa,
belongs.
whoa, whoa! Wait a second. For now, Bucci seems to be the one who'd need to run away, but the constant force coming in from the fireballs is extremely annoying. But oh my god, wait a second. I think so the buff has been actually stolen away, and Aiden wanted to just go in for that charge as well, but eventually had to miss on out of it. But wait a second. The Frost win there, freezing a couple of more players, and it's all coming down to who's clearing those mid waves faster. And right now, it's the Meow Meow gang who's actually controlling it. And even though the Argus is winning the lane against this Grok, now he's going to be taken down. There's absolutely no way the man is going to escape. He's got an Inspire right, and a Fracture comes in, and that's the first blood, though. Donkey is the one who picks it up. The man is really smooth on that Aurora and also on those pickup lines we saw in the chat.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I felt bad that Argus got fractured right now. It feels hurt. I feel pain in my meow meow. All I feel is pain. But it's okay. Argus is not early. He's a late game hero. Yep,
Sure,
I have
sure.
faith.
Copium and Copium. Mix them all both up. That becomes a Delulu. But for now, the fracture being used up again. Viper is the one who actually picks it up. Low HP on the Minotaur is going to be running away. Arlecchino trying to survive. Not something that we would really like to see. But overall, right now, Subhash jumping in only to move back again. Using the second dash of Demonic Arm, trying to survive. In the meantime, he has already used up the ultimate, and in the meantime, now he's going to be playing a bit more passive in that lane.
I'm very disappointed because of the fact that Argus used his ultimate before engaging. He had
Yeah,
full
there we go.
HP, and he still used his ultimate. Hey, look at that! I mean, Aurora's spells and Grok's wall actually have synergy. They look pretty good together. And we go see Argus go down. I'm disappointed. I'm truly, truly disappointed down in my heart. But it's okay. Again, Argus is a late game hero. It's all right.
I want to see how long can you actually keep that up, right? And in the meantime, though, there we go. Another Dashin coming in the model form. The man, trying to take a few more people down. But here's the big problem with the Su, right? Even if you use the Evil Queller, if you're in the immortal form, yes, the range will actually increase for the arrow that you're about to shoot. But at the same time, you still need to actually catch a few more people. The Frigid Glacier has been used up only to freeze down Iden. Donkey's passive as well used. Oh my god, that arrow connects and the dash in is perfect. Iden catches the man off guard. Blade surge into the Soul Sever. Finishing off the Aurora out right there. Beautiful play and a beautiful pick off. But he eventually fell as well in the meantime. And now the Grok is the one who's actually having an advantage in the lane over towards the top. Salmon Force being used up, trying to save his own life. Wiz is just trying to, keep up with the farm of Clint on the other side. Damon is the one who's actually just clearing the way faster than that had it. But still, we're not seeing a major impact into the map.
Well, Avis is actually playing pretty good. Even though I would say Meow Meow Gang actually got the first turtle, I'm going to say, and hurt me again. I'm doing this even though I'm contradicting myself, I think that Meow Meow Gang will get the second turtle too. Like, there's no chance that Infinity Warriors would take this turtle out of the nose off Meow Meow Gang.
Seems to be the case, right? Because again, even though you're using Blade Surge, you're trying to dash in, and then you're in the harm's way as well, and you can't really survive onto that evil Queller. You've quickly got to switch off that form by using the Soul Sever to try and survive into that area, or at least do a bit of a damage as well. But in the meantime, over towards the top is where we're going to see both of these teams now slowly and steadily rotate. Every single creep is being stolen. Aiden is 2 level behind Viper right now in terms of that jungle, and that is not good.
Of course it's not. And let's just take 1 second to appreciate the build paths. Now, Nolan, okay, Matilda, Joseph gets caught, but he manages to escape with that revitalize and re-engages. I don't know why, but let's give him some credit. I think he knows what he's doing. And Aurora comes in with the ultimate Frigid Glacier, hitting all 4 of them. And Suyu has to back off with alongside Bucci, GG Bucci, and everybody.
Oh my goodness,
Playing
you had
it
to say
good.
that out. Bucci gets picked off. He was in that bush, and that's the first and the foremost strategy I should not do. Joseph being taken down as well. Just going in a bit too aggressive right now, but Aiden seems to be in trouble as he dashes out using the Blade Surge, trying to survive. Will eventually do so. But in the meantime, over towards the bot is where
No,
27 is
no, no, no. I saw
constantly.
it. I
Yeah, we're
expected
not.
that. No, let's just
Alright,
ignore
alright,
bot. I'm
alright,
disappointed.
alright,
I'm
alright,
disappointed.
alright.
Just ignore it, Argus.
I'm still gonna say it again. He was picked off, but wait a second. Donkey catching Aiden out there. They lose Grog. They lose 27, and with that, Argus is now going to do his thing. Guess what? He's gonna push the lane. Is basically Argus now is basically doing the Zilong things, right? You know, every single time when you're playing in that rank, there's always a Zilong on the other side whose only job is to get drones in the game and then get picked off. But for now, over towards the top is where the Zaman Fort was dropped, but it does not matter. As Bucci is the man who actually picks him off, and now it's going to be Argus, even though he's got the Eternal Evil active, but not for long, as the fracture is there, and there's no one to heal his bones up.
Pain is all I feel. I'm watching this Argus and I'm just feeling pain within my heart. Man, Meow Meow is hurt.
It
Yeah, man.
absolutely seems to be the case, but for now in the game, Meow Meow is the team that is hurting the other side, as Damon now wants to be is just the survivor of this all chaos, which he will not be, as it's again Viper catching the man yet again in the tier 1 turret of top, and which is going to be taken down now as the turtle, the third one in this game, is going to be picked up for the side of Meow Meow. They're doing such a phenomenal job.
Yup, and if you looked at that, Nolan just walked away from a 9 HP turtle, let it to die on its own with the retribution damage. And now that we can think about that old meme where cool guys don't look at explosions, I don't know, let's just have some fun while we ignore Argus's bad gameplay. Please just stop. Ugh. Ugh.
It's okay. It's not you.
Stop.
It's not the player. It's not the player. It's just the hero. That's basically the case. It's totally
How
fine. 'Cause
dare
it
you.
happens. It happens. You know that. You know that. But wait a
How
second. The
dare
chase
you.
is perfect. But Bucci and Aiden are still trying to survive. The dash over in. Right with the guiding winds as well is how now Viper is trying to catch them both. But they will eventually not. Maybe not as a flicker wild charge. Catches Alakino. And this time, this Harbinger is not going to survive whatsoever, and Aiden in that immortal form was there, but Will dashed out using the Blade Surge. Trying to run away, trying to stay alive, and this fight is what gets no end. Oh my goodness, the Guardian's barrier dealing significant amount of damage to Bucci.
Argus just taking that unwanted fight. Damon is a caught, but he gets back with the flicker and everything. Good decisions, but waste of time, I would say.
Oh
Minotaur?
my god.
Arlecchino was absolutely decimated right there with a bunch of ultimates trying to save our boy Damon from imminent demise. And we see Joseph and everyone just invading, and they're still able to kill Damon and Bucci. Both of them go down so easy. Right now we see that Aiden is taking the initiative to get Joseph, but it can't really do much. We see Argus trying to split push top, but he has to come back to defend. This is going so bad. Argus fractured again. Stop it! Stop harassing my heart like this, Subhash, please.
I mean, it's done. What's done is done. But wait a second. He's not the only one who's constantly falling like that. It's also Aiden getting picked off with that fracture. What's the cooldown on that? The man is just spamming it like it's basically just his own basic attack. That's how fast the fracture is coming in. But I mean, the way how Viper is playing, this is exactly the way how you normally play a Nolan. And he's also completed almost all of his main items now. He's also going in for that Rose Gold Meteor, which will eventually help him survive from any kind of burst that might come through from the other side. But with just a War Axe, with just a Hunter Strike, I don't know. I don't really see the damage coming in from Suyo, or he's just basically missing out on all the important skills to take the enemy down. With the minimum Fury catching on to a couple of more people, but it does not matter. But this knockup can definitely do. But wait a second, the fracture coming into the play with Wiz catching all of them with those chrono dashes, as well as the Zaman forces was popped down only for him to help dash even more. Subhash has got the Eternal Evil, but the man can just be obliterated with the skills, how they are being used perfectly, as now he catches onto that Eternal Evil, but it does not matter. The man was frozen in a place, and with that yet again, Viper is just being super venomous, catching them, biting them, picking them off, deleting them. Bucci trying to survive, pushing him away with the Searing Torrent, but it does not matter as there's 27 catching on to 2, and now is the Lord marching down to the same spear that was in the hands of Aiden's immortal form, but this one deals the damage.
Victory!
Ah, pain is all I feel. Argus, no. Can everyone just report Argus, please? Please,
Hey
just all
yo,
of you guys, just go to this account, just report him. So, I
calm
don't,
down.
pain,
It's okay.
pain. I'm
Happens,
just being
happens.
I'm just being over, dramatic. It's fine. I guess I've had games where I just couldn't do anything. It's totally understandable, Sabash. Do well next time. I'm sorry for being very picky and very aggressive towards your gameplay, but yeah, I've been there. It's okay. that I appreciate
Butterflies born by the
people who actually
heat,
play good.
guided by lantern's
That
light.
is indeed true. And something that, I mean, a lot of those people out there should understand at the same time as well. But in the meantime, okay, we're going to be talking about the draft right away because, I mean, there are a lot of picks out there that, if we talk about it, have been changed up so very drastically. Specifically, if you're just, looking
I
into
am
that
not the
EXP
only
lane
one
meta, we
bound
know
by
that the
these
Terizla was one of the
chains.
most prioritized hero, right? And if you look at him right now, he's got such a massive rework, I
Your
wouldn't
team
exactly
is
say, but more
banning.
like a small nerf in terms of his early game tanking potential, but a decent buff as well for that late game because normally it was 30% damage reduction with his body of blacksmith. But now if you look at it, it's 21% and goes all the way up to 35. So it's low in the early game, but it's pretty solid in the late game if you ask me.
Yep, I would say that
Who said
Alpha
there
right
are
now
no
could actually
shortcuts in
completely
life?
counter
I
Terizla in
literally
the early game.
invented one.
And late game, I think we could actually put some, here and there, we could actually
As
speculate a
fleeting as a
little if
snowflake
Terizla or
breath,
Alpha could win.
as
But Alpha
timeless as
right
a
now has the
glacier's
advantage
heart.
over Terizla, even though the damage reduction is there. It's 20%. It's not that much. It's 10% lower than the original, but that's all right because we see a Hayabusa bin and a Chip bin. And also, we see a Phobius. Phobius is not rare in the band section, but he is definitely
The
not
hunt
seen much in the band
begins.
section. We see an Aurora picked by the blue team, and to counter that, we see a Ruby. Do you think it's going to be a gold lane Ruby, a Roam, or EXP?
Your team is picking.
I think so. It's going to be now since the Grok has been picked up. It might be a Ruby into that gold lane as well, or we might possibly see the Ruby into that roam position as well. I mean, both of these could actually be picked up. But you know what I want to see right now? I want to see a Balman into the jungle because the boys' bit of buff was long overdue, and now the subsequent damage increase hit is what, to 8.5 now from 7.5, and also his overall damage has been increased to 68% from 60%. Now that
10 years
really means that this
of
guy is going to be
imprisonment.
super annoying when he goes into that jungle, specifically with the nonsensical build of Borax, Cursed Helmet, Guardian's Helmet. This guy will not die! He will not!
I shall succumb to my
Please,
Your
power.
please
team
ban,
is
please
picking.
ban mine, is what I'll say to my teammates.
Yes, and talking about not dying, even with the
I
nerf,
will
we see
find a
that
way,
Terizla again
even when
on
it
the
is
blue
forlorn.
team. They're like, no matter how much you nerf my boy Terizla, we are going to still pick him, and he's still going to rock.
Be honest, calling Teresla a boy is like
He's
it's
a
very
man.
well feeling. Yeah, I mean, if anything, you
It
must
is
call him a
in
grandpa
despair
because
that
of how
I
old the
see
man
Team
the
is
is.
banning.
But it's
fondest
But
okay.
he,
hopes.
but he's Julian's dad though. Like, well, let's just say Julian's like on a teenage level. Like, he's just a teenager. But if okay, to be fair, my dad when I was a teenager was barely 45. Let's say.
When did
So
he even?
I
When
think
did
he's a
he even
man.
have?
Gaze
Wasn't Teresla
upon the
Your
in the
edge
team
of
jail
is
the
banning.
void.
for one of the longest times?
He
Did
was.
what
He
what
was
what what
imprisoned for
what?
like he was imprisoned for the longest time, 10 years, I think. Like, I think his
Yeah,
voice line is like 10 years or something. Yeah, it's
yeah,
10 years that he was
10
imprisoned.
years of imprisonment. Yeah, I know that. I know that. It's like, and he was actually imprisoned for not sharing that blacksmith blueprints. And Moni and
I would
Empire were the one who actually imprisoned him.
I would say
I
the
mean,
money entire. Yeah.
I'm not against Terizla, bro. I'm not against Terizla. The man is just a broken hero.
A broken
Even the
hero, a broken
strongest of
Your
soul
tyrants
team
fail
turned
is
to
to a
blame
villain.
banning.
me.
You live long enough to actually become the villain. Either you die a hero or you become the villain. You live long enough to become one. It's all right because in the end, Alice rescued him and turned him into a corrupted
Yeah,
version of himself from when he
exactly.
was a glorified blacksmith.
Yeah, so
And we see a Nolan man. I would say Nolan did a really good job, especially knowing that his ultimate fracture had like this insane. I forgot the details of it, but the
I
what
am
Your
more
his
team
than
first
is
a
skill and
banning.
weapon.
second skill both got a. They increased the cooldown for it from 1 second to 1.5 in the early game, and they decreased again the ultimate cooldown from I think 34 to 28. You were right when you said that. You were right when you said that Nolan was using his ultimate too often because, yes, the cooldown reduction plus the reduced cooldown on the ultimate in the patch notes, they can make him
I will choose
instantly
my
use his
own
ultimate after
path.
Your
every single
team
team
is
fight.
picking.
Yeah, but one of the most craziest stat in the entire patch notes is the fact that now his ultimate's new effect is it slows the target by 30% for 0.5 seconds. I mean,
Tough luck escaping from
what
that.
what is 30% slow going to do for 0.5 seconds when you're using that ultimate to actually get those kills?
To be fair, I mean, 30% slow could actually make or break a kill. Like that one moment where you can't actually
The
move that
battle of
fast.
eternity leads
Yeah,
your
Counter,
team is
like not counter,
picking.
put in with that damage from the fracture. Oh my god, that's just the icing on the cake. It's just a
you know,
cherry on top, but
yeah,
it's not gonna
exactly.
do much.
But
But
the
it's there.
fun
Yep.
part is that if you're hit by fracture, you're most of the times just dead because it's used
True.
as an execution skill rather than just to slow someone down. It's basically like you're using the ultimate of a Balmond. You're not really wanting to deal that true damage, but rather just get the kills and get that HP back.
Let's see. You're right, actually. Now that I think about it, I think it's a wasted addition to the spell. 0.5 seconds,
Exactly.
30%. Ooh, like, I don't know what Moontown is thinking, but, well, let's give him credit when they deserve it.
I mean, so hey, I mean, I guess we could see sometimes when he'd want to chase someone out there. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, we've been yapping a bit too much for about all of these buffs and nerfs. We'll be having a look at the Xpog, Lunox, Kufra, Terizla into the Aurora lineup. I really like that. That's coming in from Nah Win. But on the other side for Lafu, they've got that Grog, they've also got the Vixana, so that's going to be a good matchup in that mid lane with Ruby into that Ling. I want to see how they are going to play along in this situation because the drafts are pretty solid for both of these sides. Now, before we jump into the land of Dawn, Crucifix, make a quick guess. Who do you think is going to win?
I'm totally unbiased because both teams have one retribution and four flickers. I am unbiased. I don't know what is going to happen. All of them are going to flicker out at each other. It's going to be so much chaos, but everyone's going to be able to escape all that chaos, unless, of course, the flicker is on cooldown. Now that you think about it, we are back in the land of Dawn. Do you want to take over?
Absolutely, and thank you so much for asking that, ladies and gentlemen, as we move into the land of Dawn for one final time in this evening. It's going to be Win on the blue side, taking on Lafu on the red side. Both of these teams are starting in on that opposite lanes, to be honest. They're both starting on their own respective orange buffs. That means they're going to end up in the opposite lanes. And now, since D44's Terizla has been nerfed in terms of early game sustain, it seems like he might actually be targeted, and that might be a good decision.
Oh, it definitely will be. We can see that in gold lane. It's going to be Ruby and Lunux. I'm tired of not seeing a marksman on the gold lane anymore, to be honest. But
Happy.
we can actually be okay because, well, these guys do a lot of damage or provide a lot of utility for the team anyway. So we can't really say much.
To be honest, I'm very happy that now there are a lot less marksmen being used in the goal lane because of the amount of times they will be just bullied in the lane. But for now, Zozo is the one who's actually being on the receiving end as the flicker comes out. Sight still wanted to go on that chase, but because of that tornado, that dash, he will survive. But a good mid-river control now coming in from the side of Nahad Win. They're controlling that entire area. So now the rotation is going to be their top priority and they'll be having that advantage. And to just control that, we are seeing the K as well jumping in onto that drop, trying to take those minions, but saving them just enough for Zozo to also hop in. But in the meantime, since Mina on that Arlet is going to be very annoying to D44, the rotation on the other side is now in that EXP lane. There seems to be a big problem as Mina, he should be taken down. The jump does not connect to Cupra. Fire stakes out there, but Mina's going to be surviving without burning the flicker as Zozo is also there for the support. As now the turtle spawns in, but Ling is not interested, it seems.
Ling is totally not interested. He was thinking of getting a kill on Lunux. Right now, Ling is just here. I think Kufra's on him, but there's no chance that Ling can really take that turtle. Unless,
Oh,
of
you said
course,
that.
he very elusive. Yeah, oh, he can. Grok actually steals the turtle. This is insane. We see Oh my god, Ace gets taken down. Scythe has to retreat with his Flicker. All of the spells that are used. I told you, Flicker is going to be the deciding factor on who escapes and who doesn't. And I would say Ace got the tough end of the stick, breaking his luck because Ling is stealing his red buff. Even I think Ace knows that Ling is stealing his red buff and just ignored it. Do you
I
think that would
mean,
be?
I don't think so. He has an idea that his red buff is being stolen right now because again, over towards the bot is where Mina actually got a pick onto that Aurora. But right, oh my god, Side just missing the entirety of it. Nani is just there trying to provide support. He's got a Frigid Glacier available, but wait a second, the buff has been stolen as well, and that's going to be the Tempest of Blades for Link to run away, but will eventually be taken down by Arthur's Chaos Assault as K will be trading blows against Portuguese DA. Seems like he's constantly receiving a lot of those fists. As right now, Mina with the vengeance is there with the penalty zone now coming in to try and catch this Grog who will flicker out of the arms of the execution strike. Was just not enough as now the retaliation from the other side with the Frigid Glacier to try and freeze only the Eternal Guard with the dash in is coming in from Mina. Bouncing ball was not on top of him. Nani needs to survive, but the Phantom Mark is there. The vengeance to get the kill. Beautiful play from the CHP laner. He still wants to go in for more. The bouncing ball is there. A bit overzealous it seems as Mina should be taken down. And that's the lasting insanity to sate this man's vengeance and the thirst of blood. But that's not enough as now the Ling catching its X4 who will be taken out. The bouncing ball not yet there. The Chaos Assault. The last strike is just out in the air. And Ling flies away like a bird. Finally, they're letting me catch a breath, but what a fight. Wait a second, it's not yet over. I'm offended into the brilliance to help Arthur survive, but he's into the wild shot knocked up by the Eternal Guard. And guess what? It's another kill coming in for the side of Lofu. This team is just winning left, right, and center.
Yeah, of course. I'm surprised that you could keep up with all of that, even though the flickers that were used, they escaped so many flickers. Like, how many flickers were used in that like in that team fight? There were 4 flickers that were used. I think. No, no. I think 3 flickers were used, but that was so much for me to actually keep up with.
Happens once you actually get habitual of constantly seeing these kind of plays, right? Frigid Glacier not catching anyone, and it's a beautiful Tempest of Blades by the Link. Catching onto that Aurora yet again. Nani is always saying Nani the F every single time. Just man, this guy is trying to survive whatsoever. As Zozo went in for that aggressive flicker, so his Eternal Guard catching the immortality of Portuguese the Ace. It feels like every single one wants to turn into that Magma Kozo. Sakazuki Akainu, it seems. Everyone's just putting those fists into the chest of Portuguese the Ace. He needs the help of Luffy, man.
He definitely needs some help right now because his buffs are stolen. He doesn't have any engages because we saw that he was trying to actually kill the Grok, but he wild charged away. That was actually pretty exciting. I am actually putting so much effort into understanding what the hell is even happening, even though Ling gets the engage on Kufra, and pops the Tempest of Blades, but he couldn't really catch anybody in that. And they actually kept going for the engage. Ruby is still going in, but Kufra comes back in. He uses the ultimate, catches Ling, but he goes down. And do we see another kill on Aurora? No, Aurora just escapes with a sliver of HP, but no! He goes back in. Ling.
Brilliance.
Ling goes.
Yeah, exactly. Zozo was just trying to survive out there into that brilliance of Arthur. He will eventually survive, and honestly, if you talk about it, Crucifix, you look at the scenario, it's just brawl. It's not even a full-fledged strategized play. It's just brawl and outplay.
Brawl. Oh no, that's you're actually right there. I think this is brawl. Everyone's just going at each other and it's just flickers upon flickers. That's the only thing that you see in brawl.
That is true, but it seems like another engage out there, a knock up onto a couple of people trying to catch them off guard, but again, no lasting insanity. Frigid Glacier catching only one. That is K. The man is going to survive whatsoever. No wild charge available for this guy as well, as they're constantly kiting the damage. They're actually very smartly dodging all the damaging utils while also just constantly baiting the other side. But it seems like another fight might eventually break out as Tyrant's revenge is being charged up. Might catch three, but wait, he did not actually jump in. The Guardian's barrier is there, and Amina seems to be in trouble as the turtle has been taken by Lynx. That's a little bit of shield. Catch onto three is good. He gets it for the Tyrant's rage as well, but there's no CC or no damage from the backside. They do not have anyone to help them. Amina catching all of them into his own ultimate, gets a triple kill. This man is on a vengeance with his skill called Vengeance. Unfortunately, there's no spell of Vengeance onto him, but it's absolutely fine as again now Link wants to try and charge in, catch on to one, but he actually is now waiting out the passive of the Aurora. Will eventually take the tower damage, it does not matter, the brilliance coming out from Arthas will help him survive, but he's the only one who will survive.
Yep. And right now, Arthas is on back. No, Arthas is going back with his brilliance. He does a really good job there. We see that. We see Brendan getting caught. We see Brendan getting caught with a lasting insanity, but he escapes. And Mina coming in, catching Arthas, even through. He just okay. Remember that Arthas used his brilliance just a few moments ago. He doesn't have it, and the Lumfu actually get the tier 3 top lane tower, got the shield off. I forgot what that's called. The explosion damage from the tower on tier 3. I don't know what that's called, but that goes off on top lane. They have so much pressure on the 8-minute mark. It's surprising. With the Lord spawning in, I don't think the blue team have much of a chance. What do you think? What's your opinions on this?
It seems like there's going to be bit of a problems out there if we really talk about it. Until and unless we are seeing some mistakes being made from Loku, I don't see any way for Nahad Win to actually win out on all of those fights. And I was just about to spoil a big ending for Jujutsu Kaisen, but I think so I should just say here, silent, should not talk about it whatsoever. But it's probably a lot of people might have already noticed that the wait second, the wild charge not yet committed, only to the DC defense will be helping K run out of all of that crowd control on the other side. Now that means but a lot of those utils on the other end have been used up. So Lord should eventually be taken since they had a lot of vision. It's 416 with every single kill that now Advent are getting. They're getting brutally beaten up by 4 on the other side. And with this Lord, the level 14 mark has also been hit onto that link and he gets the Blade of Despair. And it seems that they might want to end directly with this first Lord of the game.
I think that's the case because we're seeing a lightning truncheon on the Vexana. Well, if she gets it, this is going to be devastating damage all throughout the enemy team. Blue team, I don't think you have a chance, but I want you to do your best, even though the odds may be against you. Because Mobile Legends, again, is always about that chance, taking a moment to actually get a good team fight in. That's all that matters. Even if a Lord is marching down at your base right in front of you, you still always have a chance to defend it.
That is indeed true. But we'll just have to wait and see. The wave's not yet been synced up to perfection. The bottom one will eventually be taken care of by the Rizla. D44 is doing 0-1 and 0. Should be tanky enough right now as he's level 11. But the man is just going to defend. He's going to stay in that bottom lane. Make sure that no one pushes that out. But seems to be the man who might actually get caught. Everyone's out there, down there. It's basically giving me PTSD. But it's absolutely fine. He's going to survive. As a mid inhibitor is now the target coming in. No more passive out there to help him out with the explosion onto those minions. But for now, the Guardian's barrier coming into the play. But they can't really go in for that engage. They're waiting for Sai to be the one to start all of it. But wait a second. The Amp Pendant comes into play along with the Eternal Guard who was frozen right on his feet. Probably trying to bow down or maybe just catch a few just like with the Frigid Glacier. But again, the Wild Charge catches 2 into the final slash. They were brought out of the turret to the lasting insanity to try and help them survive. But it does not matter as Ace gets caught in. This man is no match for these Admirals as this is a wipeout. Beautiful play from the side of Lafu. They catch all of them. And with that, the crystal shall fall. A big chunky wave is down there and they don't need to do anything except for that push. No more waves now going to spawn as they now fall one after the other into the fountain. They're just sleeping down there in their base and with that they catch a win to help them now go to the beds easy.
Ah, that was so much for you. That was so much for you to talk about. I would say take a break, have the best drink that you can think of, have a comfy drink, and just chill. Because in the end of the day, more than whatever happened in this match, it was happening behind the scenes on the caster deck by Scared Yet.
Stay tuned. We are now headed in the back of the last game of the evening. So that's about it for today, folks. Rest tomorrow on the same game, but different names on the same channel. Make sure you hit that like button, click on that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that bell notification so that you do not miss out on any of the upcoming live streams. Even if you forget it, your notification will remind you for that. Catch us tomorrow at the same time. Thank you for staying tuned today and have a good night.